Every human mind carries two distinct voices. One is the voice of the devil, a constant whisper of logic and pragmatism that tells us to stick to the familiar, stay in our comfort zone, and dismiss any ideas that challenge our view of reality. It's the voice that says, "That's never been done before. You don't have the resources. Who are you to even try?" It's the sound of mediocrity, cloaked in the respectable robes of practicality. On the other side, there is the voice of God, a powerful force of inspiration that makes us believe we can transcend societal limits of what is considered impossible. These moments of brightness, however, are quickly outweighed by logic, which makes our ideas feel increasingly delusional. That divine spark of a world-changing idea suddenly feels like a foolish fantasy. In this video, you will learn how to fully embrace the voice of God, allowing you to overcome limiting beliefs and finally believe in yourself. Believe in yourself to the point where other people will call you delusional, because only delusional people can rise above mediocrity. In the end, they are the ones who achieve the impossible. In the Bible, there is a story of disciples who worked hard all night, casting their nets into the water, but they caught nothing. After many hours of work with no results, they saw someone standing on the shore. It was Jesus. He called out to them, asking if they had caught any fish. They replied that they hadn't caught anything all night. Think about that moment. The voice of the devil of realism would have been deafening. We are professional fishermen. We've been at this all night, the best time for fishing. We know these waters. There are no fish here. We are tired, we are empty-handed, and we are done. That is the logical, pragmatic conclusion. But then, the other voice speaks. Jesus shouted to them, "Throw your net on the right side of the boat and you will find some." Imagine the internal conflict. A command from a carpenter that defies all their professional experience and the hard evidence of the entire night. It sounded delusional. It was an instruction that made no logical sense. Yet, they chose to listen. They chose to suspend their reality. And when they did, they caught such a massive number of fish that their nets began to break, and their boats were so full they began to sink. This wasn't just a fortunate catch, it was a lesson that the greatest rewards lie just beyond the boundaries of our logic, in a place that requires a leap of faith. It teaches that following a direction that seems illogical can lead to better results than relying solely on past experience. This story isn't just about fishing. It's about every time you've toiled and failed. It's about every time you've been told, or told yourself, that it's time to give up and go home empty-handed. The voice of God doesn't always offer a detailed blueprint. Sometimes it just says, "Try again. Cast your net on the other side." On the other hand, let's look at the delusional who shaped our world. History is written by the delusional. It's a chronicle of men and women who heard the voice of possibility and refused to let the chorus of doubt drown it out. Consider the Wright brothers. In their time, the idea of a heavier-than-air flying machine was the stuff of fantasy. Prominent scientists and government-funded competitors, like Samuel Langley of the Smithsonian Institution, were also working on the problem, but it was the two bicycle mechanics from Ohio, with their seemingly outlandish ideas, who were met with widespread disbelief. Most people simply didn't believe it was possible. Yet, they ignored the realistic view that man was not meant to fly. Their delusion gave humanity its wings and forever changed the world, even as their methods were so secretive that they were quickly considered obsolete after they went public. Think of Oprah Winfrey. Born into poverty and facing immense hardship and abuse in her early life, the realistic path for her was one of limitation. When she started her career in television, she was fired from one of her first jobs as a news anchor and was told she was unfit for television. The voice of the devil had plenty of ammunition. You're not good enough. You don't fit the mold. Give up. But the voice of God within her, that spark of self-belief, was relentless. She turned a low-rated morning show into a cultural phenomenon by being authentically herself, revolutionizing daytime television and building a media empire. Her journey is a testament to resilience and believing in oneself against all odds. These figures, and countless others, were called dreamers, fools, and delusional. But their refusal to bow to the realistic world is precisely why we remember their names. They understood that the label delusional is often the price of admission for anyone who dares to create a new reality. So, how do you turn up the volume on that empowering voice and quiet the nagging whisper of doubt? First, you must recognize the devil's voice for what it is, a defense mechanism. It's your brain's attempt to keep you safe in the familiar. It's not an objective truth, it's a preference for comfort. When you hear, "You can't do this," learn to reframe it as, "This is new, and it feels uncertain." This simple shift drains the power from the negative thought. Second, feed the voice of God. Surround yourself with inspiration. Read the stories of those who overcame the impossible. Listen to music that lifts your spirit. Spend time in nature, where the scale of the world reminds you of infinite possibilities. This isn't about idle daydreaming, it's about actively cultivating a mental environment where belief can flourish. Third, take a delusional step. Just like the disciples casting their net one more time, your breakthrough often lies in one more action that logic tells you is pointless. Send that email. Make that call. Write that first page. Start that business. The action itself is an act of faith. It is a physical declaration that you are choosing to believe. The result of that action is less important than the message you send to yourself. I am listening to the voice of possibility. Your dream, in its purest form, is a divine whisper. It's a glimpse of a potential future that has chosen you as its vessel. The world may call it delusional. The logician in your head may call it impossible. But the part of you that is connected to something greater knows the truth. That delusional idea is your destiny calling. It's the whisper of God against the sensible shouts of the world. Which voice will you choose to obey? Don't let the logic of the devil talk you out of the destiny God has planned for you. Embrace the delusion. Chase the impossible. And become one of the ones who dares to change the world.